everybody, happy Thursday. Now today's video is something that someone asked a few weeks ago, and I'm gonna be honest, I've put it off because I have mixed feelings. That's me mixing. And so here's the question, and then let's just get to chatting about it. This would have been a good coffee and a chat, but it's like the afternoon. I've already had my coffee. But the question is, hey Katie, I was wondering about your stance on the increased prevalence of self-diagnosis. Ooh, so interesting. What should those who can't afford a therapist/psychiatrist do, and how should they go about seeking communities to seek advice from? Thank you. This is a loaded question for me because unlike most professionals, I actually interact online and I recognize how shitty a lot of treatments are in different countries and in the States. Mental health, we're gonna change it, guys. We're gonna, make the change, be the change, right? But for now, we're stuck in some not so desirable situations, and it can be really difficult to get help. And I understand that it's not available to all, whether our parents aren't supporting it, so financially it's not available, or we're adults and we can't afford it. A lot of us are on a tight budget. I'm on a tight budget, and it can be hard to afford it. Insurances suck. Socialized medicine sucks. We wait forever. I totally get it. Like there are a lot of scenarios where getting properly treated and diagnosed just isn't available. And so let's start with that. With that in mind, that for a lot of us it's not available, it's not something that we have access to, it's not something that we can get, or if we've gone to see someone, they don't listen to us and they fall asleep or something horrible. I've heard some horrible stories, you guys. Self-diagnosing is okay with caution. I want you to understand that I know how helpful it can be just to feel that you have a label to put on what you've been feeling. Does that make sense? Like okay, I'm not crazy. I just have anxiety. It's not that I'm like freaking out. I have anxiety, and that's what it is. And it can be so helpful to just put that label on it, and it almost in a way helps us understand our experience more or maybe validate it more. And I totally get that. And for that purpose, I think self-diagnosis is fine. If it just helps for you to better understand your experience and try to hear from other people what they're going through, and then, think, okay, maybe that is what I have. Yeah, it does kind of sound like that. Knowing farewell that usually, I would assume, self-diagnoses are, there's a big margin of error because we aren't ever able, even as a professional, I'm not able to remove myself from my headspace and body and see myself the way my therapist would see me. You get that? Because even though I could think like a professional because I diagnose people all the time and I have a lot of clients, and we talk about diagnoses and how we came to this one and why and blah blah blah. But as the person being treated, I can never come out of myself and see myself from the other view and be able to say, I guess that isn't normal. Because I'm going to assume things that have been normal in my life, thought processes that I have are quote unquote normal because that's all I know. Unlike a therapist who can be unbiased and remove ourselves and be able to say, well, it's actually not that normal to wake up in a panic or to feel your heart race in stress in social situations or whatever we're looking at, whether it's like social anxiety, OCD, different, whatever we're trying to look at. We can't step out of our body and see that because to us that can be the norm, right? That's our baseline. And it takes a professional to be able to recognize that and tell you and kind of reflect back and be like, a lot of people don't experience that. And I want you to understand that that's part of your anxiety. And that for a lot of people is like the aha light bulb moment where they're like, oh my gosh, that's what it is. I'm not just going crazy. I have blank. So those are kind of my sides to it. I see the benefit of being able to label it for yourself. And I also see the benefit from being able to receive some support online. Facebook is a great resource for that. There's a lot of groups and chats and things like that available for people with blank issue, whether it's depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-harm, whatever. There are a lot of different groups based around diagnosis or struggles or whatever. And I would encourage you to look for groups like that based around the struggles. Like if there are groups, depression, if we're feeling down, whether or not we've been clinically depressed, to me doesn't really matter. What matters is that you get support for when you're feeling so low and so hopeless or lethargic or whatever it may be. I think that's what makes self-diagnosis okay for me, because then it not only gives us a label and helps us feel like, oh, okay, that's kind of what I think I'm experiencing, but then we can reach out and get support. And I also want to, that's why there's so many topics. I'm sorry guys, this isn't very structured because it's just like, there's just so much. And this is like the third time I've recorded this, so I'm just gonna push through. But there's also the side note that like, it can be really helpful from a clinician standpoint to have a client come in and say, hey, I've been feeling blank, 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 and I've kind of looked up online and I think it might be part of my anxiety, or it might be part of the depression, or it sounds like it might be borderline personality. I've had people say stuff like that. So that can be kind of nice, because then we can, as, you know, clinician and patient or client, whatever you want to call yourself, we can go through it together. Okay, well, let's look at this. Let's look at the diagnosis. What do we think this is? Okay, so this is how we diagnose it. Do you feel like you meet all those criteria? And we can talk about it, because at the end of the day, it's your diagnosis. And I want to make sure you fully understand it. I want to make sure I'm taking into consideration all your experiences and doing it justice and making sure I'm giving you the right one, if any at all. And yeah, so that can be helpful too. I wouldn't shy away necessarily from looking into it. If you're struggling, try to figure out what it is. That can be helpful in and of itself and be motivating to some extent. So those are my thoughts. I know they're kind of jumbled. I see both sides. The clinician in me is like, be careful. We don't really know. We're not really able to. And then the like online therapist that where I do here, and I understand how shitty treatments are. I'm like, but it's okay. You can get support and you can reach out, and it helps to have a label and like kind of a name for what's going on. And like, I see both sides, but I think to finish this, I would say that my overall thought about it is, if it helps you, good, do it. It's fine. If you start feeling better, it gives you support, I'm fine with it. But in the end, I would encourage all of you to look into finding actual professional help. Even the workbooks that I have on my website for free, or my videos, help those be a guide for you to find someone who's a good fit for you, because in the end, I really want you all to get the help and support that you need and deserve. And that's really how I feel about it. Let me know how you feel about it. And if you are new, please subscribe. I put out videos twice a week. You don't want to miss them. And yeah, give this a thumbs up if you kind of like these chats, because sometimes I put these off because I'm all over the place, as you can tell. And I'm like, oh, I like things to be structured. That might be my own thing, right? Okay, well, I love you all, and I'll see you on Monday.